Hi, I am Sissy Lappin of Simple and Sold, and this video is a lesson on negotiating. I have a friend who will walk into a car dealership and drive out with an incredible bargain because she enjoys taking a tough-as-nails stance and outlasting the salesperson. But maybe you're the kind of person who would rather eat nails than have to argue about price. Personally, I hate to haggle. About 4 years ago, I completely changed how I go about negotiating after reading a great book written by George Ross, the advisor to Donald Trump. Gone are the days of winning by intimidation style of negotiating, and to a style of negotiating where everybody wins. First, don't make the mistake of wishing you had an agent to do the negotiating for you. You might think, well, they're trained in negotiating, and they're good at it, but that simply is not the truth. The art of negotiating is not part of the training you learn in real estate school to get your license. And we've said agents learn by trial and error, and their errors often end up costing you lots of money. If you had a real estate agent, his or her role at this point really would be to carry the offer back and forth and nothing else. Let me reduce it into very simple terms. What you're trying to do is you're trying to agree on price and agree on terms at this point. Use your strengths as an unrepresented buyer by an agent to help you negotiate the best price and terms for you. Be personal and be adaptive. Listen carefully to what the seller is saying. If negotiations seem to shift from price to some other obstacle, like one particular exclusion, you'll hear this straight from the buyer and you can redirect your energies into addressing that particular issue. When you negotiate face-to-face, well, in this day and age, it's more likely to be by email, but it's still person to person, and you and the buyer can respond to each other's concerns directly. Your marketing strategy can stay flexible enough to meet the buyer's needs. Think about it and draw on whatever you have in common with the seller. Maybe you work in the same industry or have kids the same age or have friends that live in the same neighborhood. Ask questions and really listen to what the seller is saying. You'll be amazed at the common ground that a seller and buyer can find here. And many of my sellers and buyers have become very good friends after the transaction close. Remind them of your offer's stability. Show them your strengths. Your strengths might be a large down payment, or if you work for a major company, show them that working for a big company means stability and therefore it's easier to get a loan. Don't be afraid to show the seller how much you love their home. Buyers are often afraid to do this. They think the seller will start thinking to themselves, these suckers will pay anything for my cherry cabinets in the kitchen. But I promise you, you'll get more bees with honey. The seller wants their home to go to someone who will love and appreciate it. Be ready to adjust based on their needs. Be ready to compromise. Maybe they'll meet your price if you can let them lease the house back for a month because their new place isn't ready. And remember who your sellers are. If you're dealing with a couple that's in their 80s, don't send them emails and text messages. Know that it's better to sit down with them and meet them one-on-one. If you're dealing with a 30-year-old who's always on his work BlackBerry, then adjust accordingly. Be prompt and businesslike in your response. And if you like to text, well, in this instance, text away. Use these negotiations as a further opportunity to see what's important to the seller. For example, if you see that they have roses in their backyard, maybe mention to them, wow, I've always wanted a rose garden. If our deal works out, would you mind taking an hour and teaching me how to take care of your roses? I use this example because I had a client whose offer was not the highest offer, but let me tell you, the wife was going to sell to them no matter what. She wanted her rose garden taken care of. The last thought is, if you make any changes on the purchase contract after it's in the title company or escrow agents, make sure it is initialed by both you and the seller, and make sure the lender and the title company or escrow agent get a copy of those changes. Thank you so much. If you have any other questions, email us at info@simpleandsold.com.